All right, it's time for a Lego Q&A with me, Solbrick. Welcome, and thank you for all of your amazing questions. I have them on my phone here. So first off, we have Player Carter. Does the UPR of Soltown acknowledge the nuking of the rival nation of City in violation of many international treaties against the use of nuclear weapons? Alright, first off, I don't really know what a UPR is. I think it has to do something with... I think it has something to do with human rights and that kind of nonsense. I'm a bit unsure. Anyways, Soltown don't have a UPR, so there's nothing to acknowledge because nothing actually happened. What happened was that an officer by accident put her coffee mug on the red nuke button. I don't think that was a violation of anything. So it was the human factor that destroyed City and all of its citizens. Diamond Miner 59 asks, how did you discover Lego? So first off, I live in Sweden, and in Sweden we believe in the old true gods, the Norse gods, and I'm a very religious person. And just how I didn't discover Odin, Thor, and Miflurdur, I didn't discover Lego. Lego discovered me. And the first Lego set that I got it for my second birthday, and it was Fire Station 6382 from 1981. And I fell in love immediately with Lego. Brian Bricks asks, where is Soltown located on a map? Europe, Asia, North, South America, or Austria? I think Africa is a continent also. A bit unsure. It's a bit unclear. I imagine it being somewhere maybe in Scandinavia, maybe Sweden, but the signs are all in English, so that's weird. Peep Mummert asks, does Soltown have a helpful sister city like East Asiaville to serve as an instructive foil to the citizens of Soltown? No. Well, I imagine there's several cities that are called Soltown in the Democratic People's Republic of Soltown. Like the one that I had at our previous house is another city than the one I'm working on right now, even though they all have the same name. Does Soltown have a benevolent and kindly all-powerful supreme leader who very certainly knows how to solve every problem and only wants the absolute best for every citizen of Soltown?
As long as the absolute best conforms to the benevolent and kindly supreme leader's wishes.
If so, where does he live? There are no men in Soltown. It's only women. But no, there's no... I think in 1984 there's not really a big brother either. It's just this myth of a big brother, but the actual person doesn't exist. So it's the party that exists. And boy, what a party it is. So yeah, the previous question was from Pete, and here's his last question. Is there any kind of resistance organization in Soltown, or do all the citizens recognize how good they have it?
Especially as long as they don't resist, and who could resist such a wonderful friendly bunch like the Thought Police?
Yeah, that's a good input. Why would you be against the Thought Police? But there is a resistance, and they're called Snappanarna. They want everyone to drink tea instead of coffee. Horrible. Electric Wave. Shout out to Electric Wave. Is there an underground hidden Soltown? I remember the hidden shop. In the current version of Soltown, there's no underground hidden Soltown just yet. In my previous incarnation, there was a black market behind the underground station. I'm not really good at making up new ideas, so I will probably recycle that idea. It's inspired by the black markets that are actually in North Korea, where they can buy DVDs of popular TV shows from South Korea and I guess jeans and stuff. They used to have those black markets in Soviet and I guess also East Germany. Puppet Guy, how and why did you decide to start sharing your city on YouTube? Well, there used to be a time when the way you shared your Lego creations was on different internet forums, like Eurobricks, for example. But I always felt that just posting still photos was kind of limiting to the three-dimensional aspect of Lego, just too flat. And people were also starting to, this was about maybe 15 or 20 years ago, starting to buy more and more expensive cameras, and it was kind of hard to compete with that. I didn't really like them because I also felt that a lot of people who didn't have that kind of gear, they felt maybe that they couldn't post their mocks anymore. So that's why I kind of tried to keep my videos pretty simple in the way I produce them, and also because I don't have an expensive camera, of course. But I want to inspire people to build and not have to think a lot about how professional it's going to look, because it's a hobby, it's not a job. But mainly also I had all of this stuff and I was showing it to no one, and I just felt that YouTube could be an interesting platform to show my stuff to other people. But also I started to make YouTube videos to stop thinking about like work stuff. I was having a depression and I needed just to stop focusing on all the negativity, and so I found this way of just sitting and editing videos was very calming to me, and also trying to figure out how YouTube works and just thinking about that stuff instead. So I replaced stressful thoughts with YouTube. That makes sense. There's always like a year in each YouTuber's YouTubing where they have like the mental breakdown video where they're like, oh, I can't take it anymore, people are mean and it's stressful and I don't understand the algorithm and stuff. So I understand the irony in using YouTube as like mental health help. Lenny Nash asks, do you make any English language comics or books? No, not really. I had some of my Phantom comics translated and published in Austria, down under. Here's a screenshot of those that are available. Check them out. This one is really good. That one is good. That one is good. I don't remember the titles. I fixed that in post. Lord of Dragons, shout out to Lord of Dragons, asks, well, there are several questions here. What sound effects? What you will never put in Soul Town? Here's a suggestion I get pretty often, and that's that I should put a strip club in Soul Town. It's not really a thing in Sweden, strip clubs. I know it's in video games like GTA, but I will never put a strip club in Soul Town. What are your thoughts about the flower sets? They look fake. I don't think they look like real flowers. They look plastic. Have you had a Lego Dreams? Only the dirty kind. Why Soul Town needs an army? Because they are at war, and they have always been at war with old Soul Town. What do you think of Dreams theme so far? Yeah, so Lego has this new theme called Dreams. I've seen the images on Brickset.com. I kind of think that they are going to bomb just as the Hidden Side bombed, because they look a bit funky, and I also think they've done something with the instructions, that it's like a story and then you have to figure out in the end how you want to build your set. But it's a cool idea, funky colors and stuff. It won't fit in my town, so that's why I'm going to wait until they have to sell it on discount, like for 40% off or something. Like that happened to the Hidden Side. I got them really cheap, which means that if there is a new theme and you're like, oh, this theme is going to destroy my childhood, just think about all the parts you're going to be able to get at a pretty good price at the end of the run of that theme. Brick Motion, shout out. There's a shout out to everyone. Hey, first of all, love your videos and your city. My questions are, how big is your city in base plates? And are you going to focus on an air force for the army? Base plates. Holy smokes. Well, if we look back here, I think that's two base plates deep, and then there's some like 8 or something studs.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then I think it's 3 base plates deep to that side. And then it's 1 regular base plate.
So it's 1, 2, 3.
And then we have the larger gray plates here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Over here, there's also the water base plates. So you can do the math. The Air Force, yeah. I was thinking about an Air Force now that there's that Indiana Jones plane. It looks cool. I need one, maybe two. And I have like old mocks of helicopters from the Vietnam War. Good morning from York. And that's the old York, not the new one. I like the sound of a Q&A. When building, do you listen to music, radio, podcasts? I never listen to podcasts. I do listen to music. It depends on if I'm filming at the same time and I need to talk at the same time, then I can't have music because I will get copy striked. Radio, I only listen to radio when I'm in a car. The thing in Sweden, there's like there's 3 radio channels where they actually talk and have real programs, and the rest is mostly just energy and those kind of hit radio stations. So I'm not really interested in radio. Where do you go in your head when you're building? I think I just blank out. I don't really think about stuff. That's the nice part of building. It's a bit like meditation. What's it like for you building with others? Now, is this a thing that people build with others? I build with my son, and the way it is probably that he's like, Dad, I don't want to build anymore. I wanna watch YouTube. So I have to build for him. He doesn't get to watch that a lot of YouTube. No. Do you see buildings in the street and imagine Lego? Well, I do sometimes. There's a building in Malmö that looks kind of like the cafe corner. Ben Robinson. Hi, I've been watching for a while and think your content is fantastically entertaining. It sounds like I'm making this up. Keep it up. Your builds are great, but my question is, how do you design your builds? Do you use studio or just experiment by hand? I've been drawing my whole life, and I went to art school and art college or design college, so I think it's just I have a pretty good understanding of what to build in my head, so I don't use any pre-programming. I might think about what I'm going to build, but also, of course, like if we take Soltown as an example, right now I am looking at the work by Jan Löv, so I'm really just looking at photos from a TV show that he did and try to figure out how can I translate this into Lego form. Like these bricks here, that's obviously going to be the profile bricks that I'm using for that. And, you know, do I have the same colors in Lego for arches and whatnot? So, I dropped the book. Alright, so here's a question from B. Klingel. I like your vids a lot, especially how you manage the balance between showing the building process and finishing the building. Very satisfying to watch, very neat design as well. Thank you, that's not really a question, but yeah, that's always the struggle for me. How much of the building process should I show? Because I'm not really creating difficult designs or anything, but I try to make it entertaining, and I enjoy watching other people build. I mean, sometimes I think of it as if you compare it to Yang Bricks, when he makes reviews of actual sets, he's not showing you how he built it. It's the finished build. So depending on how complex my mock is, I'm probably just going to show it like a finished building. But if it's something more easily built, I can, build it, take it apart a bit, and then reassemble it on camera. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so here's a question from the Sonic Network. Yes, sir, the day has come, my lads. How do you design your mocks, and where the heck is all the Lego money coming from? So the design process is that I look at reference images a lot, like Jan Löv's books. For this barn here behind me, I watch a lot of photos of barns on Google Images and try to compile all of that to something that I thought was the ultimate barn. The money, it comes from YouTube videos, mainly, I would say. No, not mainly, like half of it comes from YouTube money. So if you want to support the channel, you can hit that thanks button that's somewhere down here and donate to the channel. But also, I do some freelancing as a comic book artist.